Okay, I just wanted to, this is number 13 on the sample final. It's just a question. It gives you a graph of a parabola and asks you to find different things given the graph. One helpful thing here, I can't do it here because this is a screenshot, but you can blow the graph up and get a little bit better picture of the graph when you're answering the question on the test. The first thing is the domain, right? And the domain really is just looking at how far to the left or right of the graph, or of the coordinate plane the graph goes. And so this, you can see the answers right here is negative infinity to positive infinity, because any x value, it doesn't matter how far you go out, even beyond the actual picture, like negative 10, there's going to be a point on the graph with an x coordinate of negative 10, and it just would be way off, would be way up here, way up high somewhere, right? This goes on forever and ever, and there's no x value, either really big positive or really big negative, that there is not going to appear on the graph somewhere in one of the graph's points. Okay, same thing with 0, right? 0 is an x value that's going to appear at this point on the graph. Okay, so we said the way we say any number, any x value can appear on the graph is we say the domain goes from negative infinity to positive infinity. And one of the things you have to do is use interval notation. We use these curve braces to indicate that you never quite get to positive or negative infinity. You're always going there. And so whenever you use an infinity sign, always use the curve braces. Now in the range, you can see that the graph has limits. It doesn't go down that far. There's no point on the graph that has negative 5 as a y coordinate on it. Otherwise, there would be some point, right, along this line, right, where the graph went down. Like a line, if you just consider a line would, it would hit negative 5. You know, if the line was going like this, it would hit negative 5 right here. This parabolas, have vertexes, so they turn around at some point. So this one goes down all the way to negative 2, right? And so negative 2 is the lowest point. And because the graph actually hits negative 2, we use this hard brace on it. So hard brace at negative 2 to indicate that the negative 2 is included in the graph, but nothing less than that. Okay. It also goes up to infinity, right? Because there's, no matter how big a positive y value you pick, like say 100, there's always going to be some point, on the graph that has a y of 100. Okay. Okay, so that's the domain and range. The x-intercepts, of course, are just where the graph crosses the x-axis. So here at 2, or negative 2 and positive 2. And the y-intercept is just where it crosses the y-axis, so down here. The vertex and the y-axis, y-intercept actually happen to be the same for this parabola. That's not necessarily the case always. Okay, so I hope that helps on this question.